Hi everyone, and welcome to week 3 of Qigong Foundation practices. So there were a bunch of good questions again this past week, so make sure you check the answers to those out in the email this link comes in. This week we're moving on to the 12 Rivers Qigong practices. Now, some of you may already be familiar with these, you might have practiced them a bit already, and that is great. Others of you, you might just be starting into these, and it's important to spend time practicing the exercises, and that's really just going to be our focus this week, is just to spend time practicing those. Just get into a rhythm, get into a routine of practicing the full set of the exercises each day. This is going to give you a general feel for the exercise, and it's going to let some of the effects of the exercises start to work their way into your body. Over future weeks we're then going to work on remembering the exercises, and then we'll start to fine-tune the details and so on. But for this week, it's just to practice them. Now, of course, you may have identified things over the last couple of weeks with the breathing, the energy, awareness, the stances, and so on, that you feel like you need to work on some more. And so you might want to continue to put some time into those this week, as well as doing the full set of exercises. So a pretty simple week. You can follow along with the video of the full practice on the website and start to become familiar with those. So in the questions this week though, there were a couple of things which I'll demonstrate, so I'll do that now. Okay, so one of the questions was about where to have your hands as you practice the different stances. Now of course for iron cross it's going to be out to the side, but for the bow and the horse stance there's a number of different places you could put them. Now, putting them on your hips, that's fine in either of those stances, and this is a relatively neutral position. It's not going to put a lot of load through the body, and it gives you somewhere comfortable to put them. If you want to challenge your back muscles more, and this is going to help you become more stable within the stances, it's really good if you pull your fists back so that they come back like this. This is going to make your back muscles have to lengthen, and this will actually help you over time to become straighter and stronger within the stances. If you're having a hard time, if you can go quite low into the stance, but you're having a hard time keeping your back upright, and you're bending forwards and things like this, you might find it easier to have your hands forward, and that will help you to stay more upright. And then little by little you can move your hands back, maybe then to your hips, and then eventually back here, as your back muscles are more able to stay upright within the different stances. So that's a few different options you can use. Within other practices, as we move into various standing practices, holding your hands on different angles and so on is going to have a different effect on the energy, but for now that's going to be fine for what you're doing with the stances for now. The other question which I'll demonstrate a little bit about was someone was asking about having a migraine. Now this of course isn't specific to this course, but I might as well give you some details anyway. So a couple of acupuncture points that are really useful for this, which you can stimulate using your own energy. Now this is going to work particularly well if you get your energy active first. So do some of those energy awareness exercises, so you bring the energy to your hands, and so the energy is flowing. Now the first point is called Baihui. It's right in the center of the top of your head. So if you have your head straight and you go from the top of your ears up to the middle of your head, it's the point right there. But what we want to stimulate is not just that point, but the 4 points around it as well. So one in front, one behind, and one to each side. And the way you would do this is index finger, middle finger, and thumb. So put the index finger on Baihui, and then the 2 either side, and then take 2 other fingers, either index and middle or thumb and index, and put these on the 2 to the side, and simply hold them there for a few seconds, a few breaths, and feel the energy affect those points on your head. Then after that we're going to move to these points. The easiest way to access them, if you go to the earlobe and just touch the earlobe against the side behind the jaw, and again hold them there for a few breaths and feel the energy work on that point. And what this does is it helps with the descent of energy. If energy has risen and become blocked in the head, it helps it to descend and wash back down and relax. And this is often very, very effective for migraines. A couple of other points that can be useful as well. So this one essentially on the third eye, and then at the same time doing this one at the base of your skull. So both of these points at the same time. And then what you're going to do, and this is a subtle thing, but you're going to gather the energy. So you're just going to connect to the energy through these points, and then you're going to gather the energy with your hands and you're going to lift upwards and out. So we've got two different things happening here. One, to balance and stabilize the energy and lift upwards and out. And then these other points which we use to help the energy wash down. And this can clear blocked energy from the head. Very good for migraines and so on. Okay, so I hope you enjoy your practice this week, and I look forward to hearing from you with your progress reports and questions at the end of the week.